What's up, everybody? I'm Albie13. Welcome back to Tesla Optimus Gen 3 Reveal. I gotta say that what's been happening is that it's been, they've been rolling it out. Ever since the Wii Robot event that just transpired, Gen 3 Optimus has subtly been on display. And then what came after was the reveal of specific new video footage. And these new videos basically are showing the advancements in Optimus. So I'm actually reviewing the videos right now, and I have a incredible footage from Wii Robot that actually shows the up close and personal, in the wild, realistic lighting, actually the robot operating. And so we see a number of Gen 3 enhancements and some of the covering on the back. And the reason why we see that, and we're going to get into that, is because they have they've worked to finalize how Tesla robot will actually charge itself. It will autonomously walk to a charging station, back itself up, and charge itself. Now, beyond that, what we are seeing is improvements and coverings, but we're seeing that the hip area is quite different and improved. That's probably the most obvious thing that you will notice from the front, side, and rear. And we have some great close up footage. Thank you to this. I will put the credit to who posted this on X. And we actually see up close the back, which now we know that there's an integrated, it appears to be a wireless charging system where the rear of the robot backs up to the charging plate, and then it presumably it's going to actually have no physical connection, but simply transmit over the air very closely. Just like when you put a mobile phone on a wireless charger, you touch it and just leave it on there, then the power can transfer over. So they think this is very futuristic and whatever. I actually think that having a real connection would be a nice option, and you want to maximize efficiency. I don't think, but anyway, I was trying to say that, well, you don't need to hook up the robot. The robot will get itself to the charging station, and then it will charge itself, and you didn't have to do anything. Of course, I understand that, but I don't have a problem charging my smart. I don't have a problem plugging my smartphone in to charge right now. I don't. That whole wireless thing is great by itself. I love the option, but when I charge my phone, the best charging is with the best charger, the best cable, USB-C, and then I plug it into the phone. So why would I not plug in my awesome Optimus robot with a cable as well? So that's okay. It is what it is. So now let's review. Tesla has been focusing on the hands, and I think that the reason why they didn't want to go back to doing the hands as Tesla gets new versions or whatever into the future, they wanted to address the hands now. And the reasons why they wanted to address the hands now is because they got into the phase of teleoperating and training the systems, and then where we're going to is training the AI, and the AI going to be able to try to replicate what people do, either by watching people, watching videos, or from the teleoperated memory of it doing those motions, or even synthesizing those things together. So the hands of Optimus needed to be able to do everything that a person can do, and that was why they felt that improving the hands in terms of the amount of the ways that it can move. But important as well that they have been showcasing is the sensors on the fingers and such, so it knows how much pressure it's applying and things like this, so that it can work with everyday objects. You can see the close up of all the stuff, and basically what I would say here is that the wrists, all these details here, how we're seeing the robustness and the reliability built in, and the movement is so interesting. with the ability to angle the wrist. You have these two motors, so to speak, controlling the arm and wrist, and then hands. And so it's super interesting seeing all this stuff. You kind of have to take it in, and we're kind of analyzing a lot of the robot, the design, and the components, because they haven't detailed except to say that they went and they made all these custom parts. All these things existed, but nothing existed to their specifications. Nothing really was well suited for humanoid robots, according to what they said early in Gen 2, I think, was the critical point where they actually got much more finalized version of Optimus. So now I'm going ahead and jumping into the video of Optimus navigating around autonomously, of course, not being controlled. This is operating on its own system. It is exploring the shop, and you can see that there's a map. And then it shows you how it's looking at the environment with these pinpoints. We also see that it appears that it works together with the other Optimus robots to map an area out. And then we get to the wireless charging system. Very quickly, they show that. But basically, the Optimus robot, that's interesting now. They're showing more detail on it's tracking the box that it's carrying, and so it's knowing its the dimensions at all times of where of dealing with it. And then we have now an interesting. They really go quick on this stuff because it was actually making a 3D representation of the stairs that it was walking on, so it could understand how it was going to climb the stairs. And then what we're seeing here is the demonstration that happened at the We Robot event, except that those were more teleoperated, and this is autonomous. You see that the snacks are in trays that help the robot to distribute the snacks in an autonomous and repeatable manner. And that's what we see out of there. It is quite simple. You can go ahead and watch the video again because everything goes very fast to see what I'm talking about in any of those particular points. Then we have the other footage. Let's see here. I think I'm going to show. Let me see here. Yeah, so the other thing I would say regarding the wireless charging is that the robot seems to hang on this tab. So it docks and then it sits in place through gravity, slides downward and back against the plate flat. And then we're seeing here if there's any other points that they talked about. I'm just going to let the video repeat and try to talk because they mentioned specifically the payload, 11 kilograms for the battery tray. They said that it can carry the objects around without overheating. So I guess what they're trying to say with this is that the heat sinks are designed to dissipate the heat with payloads. So the robot presumably operates carrying itself around, walking, then can carry payload around, and then usually what you do is you build in a certain amount of ambient temperature to handle a certain operating temperature. We don't know what the operating temperature is, but we know they're thinking about that these robots probably have to work in hot environments, and they probably want to make them able to handle as hot of an environment as possible. But their plastics type material don't really speak to any kind of advanced heating, direct heat, but perhaps an elevated ambient temperature they may be able to handle. That remains to be seen what their official... usually when electronics are released to the public, in their specifications and instructions, manuals and documentation, they tell you where a robot will be able to operate normally, so that you do not cause damage, and that, of course, you're going to have a 1-year manufacturer's warranty from Tesla, because every electronic device that is sold in America must have a 1-year manufacturer warranty according to the law. So we know that much, and then we don't know if there's going to be a um, Tesla insurance, Tesla repair plan, anything like that. Uh, so that would be interesting, but we'll see. So what does it say? These new skills are learned by a single neural network. So when you talk about single neural network, they're talking about the Optimus AI. We're talking about something that is similar to what we're dealing with in the AI world, large language model, neural network type. We're dealing with visual, presumably audio processing. We're dealing with spatial processing, which is more traditional types of AI or robotics centric AI. It specifically says that don't worry because Optimus has embedded AI. It has a AI platform inside of it. Essentially, it has the Tesla car electronics inside of it. So it's interesting to see and know if we could know from an engineering and software standpoint how it interacts with the internet and cloud services and cloud AI. Do we have some kind how often it reports to home, which would be Tesla's servers, all these kinds of things. And of course, it's under development, but it would be nice to know what their plans are and stuff like this. So I can speak now, not to lengthen this video, but everything happened really fast, and there's a lot of stuff that happened at the event. So what I want to say is that through the teleoperating and the voice projecting from the robot, we know that these are data streams. Now, some user graciously posted all of the internet enabling things that they did at the We Robot event, which was somewhere in the neighborhood of 30, 40 or something like this, 25 different the Starlink satellites, the flat ones, I believe, if I recall, yes. And they were basically using this internet for everything at the event, which seemed to include for their robot taxis. But it seems to me that they needed to have wireless internet provided to the robots, and they were all going to need good bandwidth and good connectivity. And it seems like they didn't want to leave anything to chance, so they created a lot of broadband connections for their cars and their robots to use, and then perhaps even some redundancy in case they had issues, so that everything would be seamless. So there's a little bit of speculation in there, but the technology speaks for itself in terms of having that wireless network. What it would seem to be, usually in modern settings, what we say is that you have a mesh network. Okay, so the robots go around in this space, and you have a mesh network where the robots pick up each of the wireless connections automatically, seamlessly. So that seems to be, and so everything is working really good, which at the base level is saying that when your Optimus robot is inside a house or workplace and you have a great network of internet, then it's going to continue to have great operation. That's just a very simple thing. But they are basically saying, don't worry, Optimus has its own computer system and it can walk outside and doesn't need internet and that kind of thing, of course. But we need to know how much more is enabled through the internet. Will it have, will it have a mobile internet connection like a phone? Do you need to put a SIM card inside of it? These kinds of natural thoughts. But I think that the technology is marvelous. We can see the advancements, and it's really cool seeing Tesla finally reaching Gen 3. It is a long time waiting to see Gen 3. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you found that interesting, and we'll be back with more robot content. But Optimus is an amazing product. There's a lot of competition coming from Figure and OpenAI's with their embodied AI, and Optimus is getting quote unquote smarter by them putting more AI into it, and one day we'll see Optimus talk through AI. We expect that, and that could be cloud-based, or it could be local, or a combination. So these are the simple things that I make these connections to, because their competitors are working on it, both in the U.S. and abroad. We have robotics companies all over the world. This is called the humanoid robot industry is going to be, is coming to be into being. So then, with the supply comes the demand. The public is going to have demand to purchase robots for work and for whatever they want to have in terms of personal usage. All right, make sure you subscribe, like or dislike, comment. Bye.